Every now and again, a title will emerge that challenges what it means to play video games. So often it seems to be the case that the player has ultimate power over their surroundings. They are the strongest, the most heavily armed, and the most likely to succeed in their virtual world. Not once does Miasmata have this feeling of control we have become so accustomed to. Instead, it makes the player feel as though they are barely hanging in there, just scraping by on the little they have with the ultimate goal of making it out alive. This is nature tooth and claw, and it feels very different to anything else you've played. At the beginning of the game, the player is given little information about what it is exactly they're supposed to be doing or how they are meant to achieve it. All they are told is that they have awakened on a desert island, exiled and betrayed, and that they are suffering from a disease that will soon kill them. From here you must tentatively begin to move inland, gathering information from research outposts left by the scientists that previously inhabited the island. It is through these small pieces of information and your own trials and errors that the game teaches you how to play. There's no such thing as a heads-up display or tutorials here. This is just an average guy with nothing more technologically advanced than a compass and a journal. Before long, the game will introduce you to its most important gameplay concept, researching the island's plants and concocting remedies. These plants can be found everywhere, in various shapes, sizes and types, but in order to know whether or not they will be useful, they have to be dissected in a lab and entered into your journal. From here the plants can be synthesized into useful medicines and enhancements. These tonics can help you to stave off the ever-present threat of fever, and they can give you increased strength and endurance. Learning to spot useful plants, store reserves of medicine and read medical journals will have to become second nature if you want to survive, and it is incredibly satisfying if you manage it successfully. In order to find these rare and elusive plants, you'll have to learn how to use Miasmata's map system. This system is excellent, and it succeeds in making the gamer feel as though they are charting out an island. Instead of simply being given a full map of your surroundings, you'll have to collect several small map pieces and figure out the rest yourself using cartography. This is achieved by using known landmarks to visually triangulate your position, thus making more parts of the island known. This is a really useful skill to learn because without it you'll end up just running aimlessly about the island with no idea where you're going, and that is definitely not a good idea. It's a shame because the environment created by indie game developers Joe and Bob Johnson looks gorgeous and just begs to be explored. It is truly remarkable that two lone developers were able to create a game so ambitious, let alone craft a bespoke graphics engine for it to run on. However, venturing too far off the beaten path, even just to admire the beautiful lighting system, can result in unfortunate accidents occurring. Missing your foothold on a precarious mountain path or attempting to swim across a short stretch of water can result in your fever worsening, and if you find yourself really lost, then you might even get caught out after dark. It's at night time when the forest truly comes alive with activity. Everywhere you walk you can hear the chatter of nocturnal forest critters and twigs crunching under your feet. The fact that you can see barely anything without a flaming torch or the light of the moon adds to the sense of paranoia, and the only hope of reaching safety is finding a building that contains a bed to sleep in or a candle to save your progress. It's not exactly as if the daytime is so much safer either. It's a really strange sensation walking around an island that you know has been abandoned. There's an almost palpable sense of fear and isolation at all times. It's as if you are being watched by something that's not always just outside of your peripheral vision. Very occasionally you will even encounter this foe face to face. The first time I came across the monster I was already about 2 hours in and under the impression that there were no enemies to fight. Pretty much the only thing you can do to this giant cat-like thing is to throw rocks and run away from it. It's definitely a lot different from the desert island action you may have recently experienced in Far Cry 3. It is a collection of little things that come together to make Miasmata feel like such a special and unique experience. An unreasonable person could look at the drops in frame rate or texture pop-ins and say that the game looks unpolished, but it really needs to be treated as a whole package. What we have here is a beautiful world with a complete day-night cycle, a complex and difficult exploration system, and, most importantly, an unabashed knack of making the player feel weak and outmatched. Anyone who has a PC powerful enough to play this owes it to themselves to give it a go. It's time to gain a little courage and start searching for those life-saving plants. Just remember, it's only nature.